If you haven't heard, Gamergate 2.0 is in full swing. Gamers across the world have started pushing back on the implementation of DEI in video games. Sweet Baby Inc., the company who seemingly is the poster child of diversity, equity, and inclusion right now, has been called out and, well, really has been all but knocked out of the business because of this pushback. However, like clockwork, the major video game pundits have taken offense to this pushback and have stood tall with Sweet Baby Inc. For example, we saw Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante, or however you want to say her name, write a hit piece against gamers while covering and, talking a lot of fallacies for Sweet Baby Inc. Since all of this began a number of weeks ago, speaking of Alyssa Mercante, or however you want to say her name, she has become really like the voice of Sweet Baby Inc. and the defenders and DEI on social media. But what does this have to do with everything going on right now? Because as you can see, the defenders of Sweet Baby Inc., the defenders of everything that's going on right now, are actually going after a Christian YouTuber by the name of Melonie Mac. If you don't know who Melonie Mac is, she is a YouTuber. She is a Twitch streamer. She loves to play video games. I believe at one time, I kind of discovered her probably about 8-9 months ago. She apparently worked for, I believe, GameStop at one point in time as kind of a journalist of some sort. I think she correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe she actually did those videos that are in the stores. I don't know if they still are there. I haven't gone to really shopped at GameStop for a while, but at one time they used to have videos playing in GameStop where they would have journalists or people talking to video game companies, hyping up the games that are coming out. And I believe she was one of those people that did that. She was in the video game industry in some form or fashion. She loves video games, and she's she has a big following on YouTube and on Twitch. But the big thing about her is lately, and it seems like over the last probably about a year or so, she has come out and really pushed her Christian beliefs about how she stands with God and with the Bible and with God's Word, and how everything that's going on in the world right now, all of this pushing of the LGBTQ ideals and agendas just doesn't sit right with her, doesn't sit right with the way that God intends the world to be. And she is very open about that. Well, Alyssa Mercante seems to have an issue with that. So, despite the latest developments at Kotaku, which I don't know if you've been following that, apparently they're kind of getting away from video game journalism and really starting to push this idea of making walkthroughs for video games, which is kind of ridiculous. I encourage you, go check out their website now. It's kind of ridiculous. It really is. But that's neither here nor there. Mercante has decided to set her focus on calling out those pushing back on DEI in gaming. But more specifically, she is calling out Christians. As you can see on a post that she put on X, she goes, "There's a story I've been simmering that I really want to pick back up again. If anyone has any connections to a prominent female Twitch streamer gaming personality who leans very hard into Christianity and homophobia, DM me or email me a link in bio." And then somebody goes, "Holy crap, Alyssa, you're going in this March, huh?" Obviously, if you read that, if you're anybody who follows Melonie Mac, you know exactly that she's talking about her. Now, was she purposely playing a game in hopes that Melonie, didn't recognize that she was calling her out, or was she just really this stupid in the way that she posted this. I really don't know. But Alyssa goes, I'm particularly interested in people who knew this person before their sharp rise in popularity. So, again, Melonie Mac, like I said, I discovered her about 8-9 months ago on YouTube. Really seeing her, what really drew me to her was her love for God, her want and desire to spread God's word. Yet she's still a nerd, which I think is great. I love seeing nerds on YouTube not just willing to nerd out and talk about what they're excited about, but also willing to talk about God. I think that's great to do. But what's really interesting is Alyssa here is very much like, I want to know about this person before her rise in popularity. So we know that Melonie was this person that she was talking about. And in Melonie's very Melonie way, she did eventually see this, and she goes, you could always just talk to me if you want, but it looks like you'd rather find people who don't like me to help you formulate some hate and lies to fit a narrative you inevitably made up in your head for your witch hunt. So, as you can see, Alyssa is very adamant about looking for a reason to go after Melonie. Alyssa wants to go after her. More so, she wants to go after these ideas that Melonie has that are based off Christianity, based off of her religion, based off of her beliefs that she has built off of Christianity. Alyssa responds, Hi, Melonie, I would love a chance to talk to you. My email is in my bio, would reach out, blah, blah, blah. Go find this on Twitter. There's a thread there. Melonie says, absolutely. I've reached out. I've emailed you. Since this interaction, speculation, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on X, has been running rampant. How can this conversation go? But I think we all know. We know that Alyssa's going to play victim, just like all liberal DEI supporters do. Melonie will absolutely allow God guide her through this difficult time of being put on trial. And that's the thing. That's the thing. This is 100% a war on God. That's what this is. And people don't want to accept that, or people don't want to see that. Or maybe they're just blinded to that fact, because what seemed like a very simple pushback by gamers on the annoyance of the constant addition of DEI and lack of focus on what video games are supposed to be about, which is good story and fun graphics and gameplay, they've turned it into something that is controversial, is not needed in video games. And we have now found ourselves in the middle of spiritual warfare. And Melonie Mac is the one who is at the forefront of this. And I'm not saying she's not up for it. After what I've seen on her YouTube, how I see her talk, I believe that as long as she continues to put her trust in God, as long as she continues to pray and trust that God will lead her through this, I think she'll be able to come out the other side. Ephesians 6:10-11, finally be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Because that's exactly what's going on here. This is the scheme of the devil. He is scheming against Christianity right now. He is pushing and trying to find any way he can to get at Christians. Alyssa doesn't know this. Alyssa doesn't understand that the devil is using her. She doesn't understand that. But that's exactly what the devil is doing right now. So as of today, as of recording this, Melonie Mac and Alyssa Mercante, whatever her name is, even though Melonie states that she has emailed her to have this conversation, has it happened yet? It doesn't look like it has. But Melonie did today, she posted appreciation for the support from her friends and fans, and how it helped lift her spirits. Yet, Alyssa couldn't help but attack Mel, making sure to announce that no conversation has yet happened. As you can see, Alyssa goes, let's be clear. Melonie and I have not set a time to chat. There has been no conversation. Also, this broad piece on right-wing streamers' personalities is very, very far from a publication stage. So she's basically saying, look, this has not happened. We haven't had a conversation. There's no time or anything has been set yet. And we're not even close to publishing this yet. But she has to get the final word in. Mel, in her tweet here, her post here, it basically just says, look, each and every single one of you who had my back in some way or another from this Kotaku hit piece fiasco, thank you so much. This is all came out of left field, but the support has really helped lift my spirits. If you look at that entire post, she doesn't talk negatively about Alyssa herself. She doesn't attack Alyssa. She just says that there's a hit piece fiasco going on, and she's just appreciative of how her fans and her friends have come to the support to back her up. There's no reason for Alyssa to even comment on it at all, but she had to. She had to get the last word in. And as 1 Corinthians 6:13, be on your guard. Stand firm in faith, be courageous and strong. It's important that we don't give up. We don't back down. This is not time for us to back down. There is a war raging right now, and we need to stand strong. We need to make sure that we are standing together to push back, because, like I said, what seemed like a little pushback from video gamers, what seemed like something that we're saying, look, enough is enough with all this garbage that you're putting in our video games. Let's get back to great gameplay, good storytelling, and just fun video games. What seemed like that was the goal of Gamergate 2.0 has now grown into a spiritual war, a war against Christians, a war against God. And like we've seen through the years, through the ages, when people go to war with God, they inevitably come out the other side, the loser. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all this. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave comments below on what you think about all this. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.